Is he a hero for calling them zeros? Well, it'll long be known as the "You're Not Special" speech. Last weekend, a Massachusetts English teacher got all keeping it real on graduating seniors, telling them awesomely and accurately that they're unexceptional. Here's David McCullough Jr., yes, his dad's the historian, Tom, addressing Wellesley High's class of 2012.
Yes, you've been pampered, cosseted, doted upon, helmeted, bubble-wrapped. You've been nudged, cajoled, wheedled, and implored. You've been feted and fawned over and called sweetie pie. But do not get the idea you're anything special, because you're not.
So in case they couldn't figure out what he was talking about, he later hammered the point home.
Think about this. Even if you're 1 in a million on a planet of 6.8 billion, that means there are nearly 7,000 people just like you.
Yeah, inspiring. But you know who is special? Alien Puppy. Maybe a little too special, I'm thinking. Hey, Tom, I can't decide if that was the greatest graduation speech ever or a really nasty thing to do.
Oh, I love this guy.
Yeah.
We need more guys like this. There's two things that every kid leaves school knowing. One, that they're special, and two, that the earth is sacred. I'm battling both of these in my home. I read my daughter, I stick my own stories into her bedtime stories. I'm like, dear Agnes, Mother Earth is not your real mother. Yeah, but your mommy is. And Mother Earth is actually quite indifferent to your suffering.
Mother Earth will kill you. Given the chance, will kill you.
I told her that the other day. I said, Agnes, if you're in the woods and you come upon a hyena, will Mother Earth protect you from the hyena? No, she will watch as the hyena eats you.
Yeah, right, yeah. You sound like a delightful father. So, J-Ho, does this, a lot of people say this, does the younger generation, do they have this sense of self-importance, and do they maybe need more blunt advice like this, or maybe just more blunts?
Well, they're probably smoking the blunts to begin with, Andy, but they need, I think this teacher is onto something here. I mean, I think young people today have this tremendous sense of entitlement. They believe that they have a right to health care and education and everything, from cradle to grave. So yeah. I think it's good that a teacher gets out and then says, you know what, shape up, you're nothing, you got to get out there, you've got to produce, you've got to earn your way.
Yeah, Ann, do you give commencement addresses? Have you ever done that?
No, have you heard of the public schools in
America? Yeah, no, I would assume like every year you have to fight off invitations and decide which school you're going to. What would you say to the class of 2012 if they would ever let you talk to them?
Don't vote. You should not have the right to vote.
Especially you women.
You can't, especially the gals. You should never have the right to vote. Right. You don't have the right to drink. You don't get drafted into war. Those were the arguments for letting these they're all practically fetuses go and cast a vote, and they're all worshiping. But I'm captured by the idea of these books for his daughters. And if I could get in on this, I would love to start writing some notes about it.
I did. I was reading the Lorax to her the other day, and I was like, you see, this as a business, this Lorax, he wouldn't make any money.
You should annotate children's books from a conservative perspective, and you would make a crap load of money.
Right, we'll have the math questions on the organic farmer and how much produce. No, he has zero produce because he's an organic farmer and nothing grows.
Right, and if you emit this much carbon, then, you're an awful human being. I don't know.
I don't think you're going with the theme here.
Am I not?
No.
I tend not to.
You're the one we're editing.
Okay, that works for me. Hey, Victor, isn't it about time someone let these kids know they're not special? It's not like they're on TV.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was doing an Esperanto version of On the Waterfront with Orlando Bloom in London a couple of years ago. We were talking about this, and the fact is, this is a very important fact to make. Criminals have the highest self-esteem of any individuals on the planet. And it makes sense because you feel you don't have to follow the laws if you have highest self-esteem. The lowest self-esteem are usually female students with great grades. So the whole point of self-esteem, it's a sham. It creates awful people. This guy's right. In fact, I think he lived his entire life for that moment to tell he got up there and he goes, if there's one thing that I do before I drop dead, it's to make this point, and he is an American hero.
Well, here's
and
the
I'm
thing.
saying that as a British person.
I think he probably watched Fight Club right before he gave this speech, because there's that Tyler Durden, there's that the whole thing which says you are not special, you are not a beautiful or unique snowflake, you are the same decaying organic matter as everyone else.
I disagree. I think self-esteem is important. I mean, it's what you need more than anything.
But it has to be earned.
It's knowing that you can actually deal with the real world, and you don't need, your teacher or your parent or whatever to pave your way for you. So self-esteem is essential.
Jonathan, you got your self-esteem through achievement.
The mean streets of Chicago, turning one trick at a time.
You proud those streets.
All right, I got to move on. So, do you have a comment on the show? Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail on Greg's direct line and completely waste your time, call 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from Michael Moynihan.
Boo.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by crawling, the process of moving oneself slowly on hands and knees along the ground. Thanks, crawling.